10 Minutes to Joy is your weekly invitation to reset, recharge, and rediscover your most joyful self through aha moments and simple energy techniques. You're listening to holistic psychotherapist Sylvia Plester-Silk. I've worked with individuals, couples, and groups. From parole officer to private practice, I've learned many lessons, and I'm ready to share. Today, I want to talk to you about burnout. And I realize it's a huge subject. We can be burnt out in many ways. We can be burnt out from our work and our job. We can be burnt out from struggle in relationship. We can get burnt out because we have an underlying pattern playing out that we keep engaging in that causes us to get worn down and get worn out. We can go through burnout because we're actively going against our own personal values on a daily basis. So for me, back in about 1997, I was working at a private psychiatric hospital, and let's just say the stress got to me. I didn't realize it. I was getting negative feedback from my coworkers. But even though I think that I'm pretty self-aware, I couldn't see it. I couldn't understand why they were angry with me. It resulted in me going off work, and I remember just before I went off work, coming home, being devastated after being attacked in a meeting for 45 minutes and feeling suicidal. I share this story not to have you pity me in any way, but because I believe that I'm not alone in these scenarios. That night, I had to call my husband at work and ask him to come home because I didn't feel safe being alone. Within 2 weeks, I went to work and I couldn't pull up my facade that I was okay. I couldn't stop crying that morning. A nurse took me down to the nursing office, and I ended up going off on leave. I went the next day to my doctor's office because, of course, you need a doctor's note to be off, even though it was obvious in a psychiatric hospital that I wasn't doing well, and that wasn't enough, and got told I needed to be on antidepressants. I'd never thought I would need antidepressants, and I had no fighting power back, and I just said yes, and I took them. Thankfully and luckily, unlike many, I got the right antidepressants for me, and it helped me immensely to recover. For 3 days, I didn't speak unless I absolutely had to. It felt like it was too much energy. And at that point, not that point, but as I got better and could think cognitively again, I made a promise to myself that I would never give away that much of myself ever again. That I wouldn't work in an environment where the culture and the values clashed against mine on a regular basis. Being for a for-profit institution, there were many things that they did that I strongly disagreed with. There wasn't equal patient care, although they claim there is. And in any event, I made that deep, deep promise to myself. Never again will I do this. So from that point on, when I went to job interviews, I asked about the culture. I asked really critical questions so that I could know if it was going to be a safe and caring place to work or not. How do I prevent burnout now? Well, I think of myself and self-care as a necessary part of my life and an important part in my life because I recognize, like you, I am worthy of love and I am worthy of of self-care. So when I'm thinking about self-care, I'm thinking about all parts of my being. So spiritually, am I making connections? Am I feeling connected to my higher power? For some of you, for me, it's the universe, higher power, or for some of you, it might be God. Am I in connection with those that I love and getting flow back and forth? Is my energy field healthy or depleted? So there's certain things that I do on a monthly basis to make sure that I'm in good shape. I go for massage, I go for acupuncture, I go for osteopathy. Those are the three things that are my three pillars to help maintain my body spiritually, but also physically. Physically, what can you do? Well, I've started exercising and I'm pretty darn proud of that because I am certainly not a chronic exerciser. Um, and although I can't say that I actually love the exercise, every time I come out of it, I feel so much better that when I get into the pool in the morning, I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. So I exercise. And if you listened a few weeks ago, I exercise in a way that works for me, that I enjoy enough that I can commit to it. And it may be just physical getting up, getting out of your house, going for a walk around the block. Certainly, when I was feeling very depressed and low and burnt out, I don't even think I could get out of the house for about a week. So I'm sharing this with lots of compassion for myself and compassion for you wherever you may be at. Emotionally, what are the things that are happening for you right now that you need support around? Do you need to see a therapist? Do you need someone to help you shift some old patterns that are sitting there that are preventing you from loving yourself fully? Then I think about our other needs. Am I in connection with my husband? Am I doing fun stuff? Am I laughing? Laughing is a really good radar for me. If I am not laughing, there's something, there's a pattern that I need to get to the bottom of and release so that I can get back into my equilibrium where I'm being my goofy, sarcastic self. So laughing becomes so important to ourselves. Honoring the feelings that we're having and that are coming up, even when they don't make sense. I got triggered by a friend earlier in the week, and I've been like, am I being unfair? That friend is struggling right now. So trying to figure that piece out. And then recognizing that underneath that struggle and that trigger has a big pattern that I'm going to be clearing out with a practitioner this afternoon. So I ask for help on a regular basis. And I realize that as I ask people for help, I am honoring them. That's right. I feel honored when someone asks me for support and help, as long as they're not chronically asking me for support and help and it's a one-way dialogue. But in those relationships where there's give and take, absolutely, I'm honored when I'm asked for help. So I recognize that I'm not being a burden, that I ask for help in a way that people can say no, that I am feeling that I am important enough that I can risk making a request for support. And sometimes that's paid support, and sometimes that's support of friends, sometimes that's support of my husband, and sometimes that's support of a community where we support each other by doing mutual exchanges of energy work. So, all of this to say, and I know that I've talked obnoxiously about myself today, and I believe that there are people out there right now that are in the burnout. And I want to reach out to you and say it can get better. Get help. Don't stay struggling alone because I certainly, when I'm struggling, need to reach out and ask for help. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think that's a strength when we go, ooh, I'm struggling and I need help. If you're looking for a therapist, make sure that you find the therapist that fits with you. Don't just go because they get paid for you, but interview them. What is their expertise? What's their experience with burnout, if that's what you're going for? Help with whatever it is that you're struggling with. Make sure that you're getting someone that has a knowledge base in that area. For some of you, like for me right now, going to a traditional therapist where we're doing talk therapy would not be helpful. I need to go to somebody who can help me to listen and then help me energetically release the stuff that I need to release. I find that's just more powerful for me, and you may find that for yourself. So just make sure that you are being your own advocate to make sure that you're getting a therapist that's going to have the skill set that you need and or an energy worker with the skill set that you need who can really support and help you. Make sure that you're choosing yourself first and making choices. Are you eating healthy? I forgot that one. Eat extremely important. What we fuel our body with also helps. So today I am giving you permission to sit down and create a self-care plan. Maybe you're not in burnout. That's fabulous too. And let's make sure that you don't get there. Part of self-care may make making a no longer list. I will no longer tolerate a culture that is abusive to myself or my colleagues or clients. I will no longer tolerate putting myself last. I will no longer tolerate denying my own needs and emotions. So that's one list. And my other list is here are my needs, and here are how I will make sure that my needs get fully met. So I encourage you to pull out your journal and start writing your list. Sometimes the I will not is helpful to get you to the I will and I want and I need and I commit to myself list. Whatever you do, take time today to reflect on one, two, or maybe even three things that you'll start doing on a regular basis to put yourself first in your life so that you can prevent burnout and that you can have much more joy and happiness in your life. That's a wrap for today. Remember, small moments create big changes. Keep growing, keep shining, and I'll see you next Friday on 10 Minutes to Joy.